God of War Ragnarok is a massive game. The story is epic, the world is begging to be explored, and the combat is oh so satisfying. So here are 6 completely spoiler-free things I wish I knew before playing God of War Ragnarok. Number 1, if you're struggling with combat at the start, I found it quite useful to throw the axe away and use my fist to build a stun meter and finish enemies with R3 finishing moves. And this tip is especially useful in boss fights, as building up their stun meter wipes out a lot of their health bar. Number 2, while exploring the realms of God of War, keep an eye on the sky. You'll notice pots hanging from the ceiling that drop some hack silver or invaluable materials to improve your gear. And while we're on the topic of upgrade materials, number 3, don't be afraid to upgrade your gear early on in the game. Look, we've all held on to upgrade materials, thinking they'd be useful later, but you don't need to worry about that in Ragnarok. Later on in the game, when you craft gear, you bypass the early levels depending on what point you are in the game, so you don't have to craft a late game piece of armor and upgrade it from level 1. It'll already be at a higher level. Number 4, focus on your skills in the skill tree. You'll notice that each skill has a counter of how many times you've used them, and when you've reached the 3rd tier, you can spend XP to upgrade them. I found it helpful to keep an eye out for skills I wasn't using so I could focus on them in battle to level them up, giving me a more diverse number of skills to rip enemies apart. And number 5, while leveling up your skills, I found it easiest to build Kratos into dealing as much elemental damage as possible, as it just shredded enemies. The 6th and final tip is for you completionists out there. Odin's ravens are back, and they're just as elusive as the first game. However, listen out for this noise and it'll make them a lot easier to find. There we have 6 completely spoiler-free things I wish I knew before playing God of War Ragnarok. If you're on the fence about picking up the game, then check out our review on the right, and you may as well subscribe while you're at it. I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you all in the next video.